Welcome to Remoti. When you first log into the portal, this is the first page you'll see. This is your dashboard, and typically it would provide an overview of the locations that you are interested in and any key messages from those locations. Let's just quickly go through some of the other key tabs just to get you up to speed. Under the Locations tab, you will see the locations that your organization has created and any of the locations that you have chosen as favorites, and we'll come back to this in a little while. Under the Units tab, you'll see all the units, the Remoti units that have been assigned to your organization, and this provides an overview of the status of those units, and you're able to go into a bit more detail by clicking on the unit ID itself. Under Alerts, you can see your email alerts, and you can change the email alert settings for particular locations. Under Users, dependent on your privileges, you'll be able to see the current users of the system, and under your account you're able to add and change personal information and change and update your password as you wish. So the first thing to do when you first log in and you have no locations is to actually create a location. So let's do that now. So the first thing to do is to create a location, and this is where your units are going to be deployed. So if we click the Locations tab and then click Create a New Location, we can add some information about this location, and so I'm going to give it the name of Bristol, and you can add as much or as little detail after that as you please. Click Next, and now we have a few options. There are two mapping options within the Remoti system. The first one is Great Britain mapping, which is based on Ordnance Survey, and the second, if you click, is Worldwide mapping, and this is anywhere in the world. So for now, let's just use Great Britain mapping. I recommend this one if you're in Great Britain, as the topography is quite good. Two options now. You can either zoom in on the map and find your location, and as we see, we can get a high level of detail, and you can go to as much detail as the map will allow. Or there's a quicker way, and that is to click the Find Me button, which will use the location of your computer to actually find you on the map. Either way, once you're happy with the map and the scale of the map, you can click on the map and then click Center Site here. And click Confirm, and that's it. You've created your first location. So once we've created a location, it's automatically added to your favorites. This means that on the dashboard, it's a location that you can see on the dashboard, and any messages about that location will be shown in the Messages section. And on the alerts, we can see that both unit activation and unit error for this site of Bristol have automatically been added. Now what you can actually do is, if you don't want to have so much information about this site, you can actually remove it from your favorites. What that actually does is it doesn't delete the site. It just means that if you now click under All Locations, you can see all the locations that your organization has. So if there are specific sites that you are interested in, simply add them as a favorite. Once you've created your location, the next thing to do is to assign units to that location in the place that you put them in the real world. By assigning units, it also means that you can actually get email alerts when the status of that unit changes, or if the unit has any issues. So let's assign a unit to Bristol. So if we click on our location, Bristol, this takes us to our location dashboard. So we can see here the map that we selected earlier. We can also see any units that have been assigned to this location, which at the minute is none, and we can add messages and notes ourselves. So to assign a unit, click the Assign Unit button. We then select the unit that we actually placed in the field. So let's select this particular unit, and then we can either click on the map, which puts in a pin of a location which is where we put the unit down. Or alternatively, if you're doing this in the field off a phone, say, you can click the Find Me button, and that will actually find you using your GPS on your phone. Click OK, and that adds the coordinates into this box. You can also actually manually enter the coordinates if you wish. You also need to set a heartbeat time for the unit. This is the time at which the unit will call in on a daily basis, just to ensure that the unit is functioning correctly. And you can also select the repeat time for this heartbeat. You can have it daily, every 3 days, weekly, or every 2 weeks. The longer you leave it, the longer the battery will last, but daily should be okay. And you can also add a description. After you've selected all those parameters, click Assign Unit, a bit of confirmation, click OK, and then the unit will be assigned. If we decide that we don't like the unit where it is, there are a number of ways of unassigning it. We can click on the unit itself, check the unit number, and we can click Return Unit to Pool. And that simply returns the unit back into our pool so that it's ready for reassignment. We can also do this on the units page under the Action button. If you want to change the alert settings that you're getting for a particular location, there are a number of ways of doing it. One way is to go into the location itself, click on Email Alerts, and then select or deselect the activation or unit error email alerts and click Submit. The other way of doing this is to go into the Alerts tab, which will show you all the alerts that you have, and then if you wish to subscribe to new alerts, just click Update on that location. To add a new user to the account, it's quite simple. Just go through to Users, click Create New User, add their name, email address, and the permission you require and any extra details, and click Create. This will send that email address a temporary password with which the user can log in with, and then by going to Account, they can change that password to something more memorable. Standard users are able to do pretty much everything an account admins can do, apart from create locations and create users. Account admins can obviously do both of those things. As a new user to the system logging in for the first time, again this is the page you'll see as you've selected no favorite locations. To change this, just go to your locations, all locations to see all the locations in the organization, and select the locations you wish to add as favorites. This will automatically update the email alerts for this location as well. So let's have a look at the system when a unit is activated. At the minute we're on our dashboard and we can see that our location has one assigned unit and none are activated, so all is well. However, if I refresh this page, we'll see that in the time since that page was last refreshed, one of the units at Bristol has been activated, and we have a message which you have to acknowledge in order to get rid of, in order to say that someone has acknowledged that this unit has been activated and is dealing with it. So let's first off acknowledge that message. We then go to our location of Bristol. We can see that the unit has turned a red colour, as it has in our unit status box, and we can actually click on the unit and go to more detail in order to actually get more information about that unit and its entire history of activations and heartbeat messages. From this page we can also update our heartbeat time if we require, simply by typing a 24-hour time code into the box.